Hey guys, so my agency just figured out how to do LinkedIn outreach at scale without getting banned. And I've made a few videos about this already, but I wanted to explain exactly what's going on. So most people think the problem with LinkedIn outreach is the messaging or the targeting or the follow-up sequence. It's none of those things. The problem is the economics. The math just doesn't work. Now, if you don't know who I am, my name is Isaiah. I run CopyScale, a lead generation agency where we help high-ticket B2B companies fill their calendars with qualified prospects using LinkedIn outreach. Today, I'm going to show you why LinkedIn outreach has never scaled properly for most businesses, why the traditional method is economically broken, and how we solved it without breaking any rules. Now, let me explain exactly what I mean by broken economics. Now, when you're running LinkedIn outreach manually, you're essentially running a one-person manufacturing plant. You're the factory, you're the labor, and you're trying to produce enough output to feed your entire business. Here's what that looks like in practice. You spend an hour building a targeted list. You spend 2 hours personalizing and sending messages. Then you spend another hour managing replies and booking calls. Now, that's 4 hours to generate maybe 2 qualified conversations. And if you're good, those convert into a booked call. So you're investing 4 hours to get 1 sales call. Now do the math on what your time is worth. If you're a business owner or a sales professional, your time is worth at least $100 per hour, probably more. So that's $400 in time investment to generate 1 sales call. If you close that call, great, but you need to close at a high enough rate and a high enough price to justify the investment. And you need to do it every single week to keep your pipeline full. So this is why most people give up on LinkedIn after a few weeks. The economics just don't work. You're essentially trading hours for calls at a rate that makes no sense for anyone running a real business. Now, some people may try to solve this by hiring someone to do outreach for them. An SDR, a VA, someone who can grind LinkedIn all day. But this creates a different problem. Now you're paying $3,000 to $5,000 per month for someone to sit there sending messages. And here's the thing. They're still limited to the same constraints you are. Because you can't just spin up a bunch of fake accounts. LinkedIn is going to shut them down quick. So it's still one person, one account, limited daily actions, and a limited output. So you're paying full salary for fractional results. And if you want to scale the output in-house, you need to hire another person and another. And now you're managing a team, dealing with turnover, and handling training. The economics still don't work. You're spreading the broken model across multiple accounts. And this is the core offer that nobody talks about. LinkedIn outreach doesn't scale because the model itself is broken. So you're either burning your own time or you're paying someone else to burn their time. And the output is always capped. There's a ceiling. And most businesses hit that ceiling within weeks. So here's what we figured out. The solution isn't better messaging. It's not better targeting. It's not a better follow-up sequence. The solution is throughput. You need to fundamentally change the economics by increasing the value of the output without increasing the time or cost proportionately. So think about any business that scales successfully. They don't just work harder. They build systems that produce more output than unit of input. So Amazon doesn't ship more packages by hiring more people to hand carry packages. They build an automated warehouse. McDonald's doesn't serve more customers by hiring more chefs. They systemize the kitchen. Netflix doesn't serve more viewers by mailing more DVDs. They built an infrastructure that scales infinitely. The principle is the same for lead generation. You can't scale by doing more manual work. You scale by building infrastructure that multiplies your output. So here's how we apply that to LinkedIn outreach. Instead of one person manually grinding one account, we built a system where multiple accounts run simultaneously with the intelligent automation handling the repetitive work. The work that used to take 4 hours per day now happens automatically across multiple accounts while you're doing other things. And because the system is running across multiple accounts, the output multiplies without multiplying the time investment. You're not working 5 times harder. The infrastructure is working for you. Now, here's where most people get stuck. They think, okay, I'll just create multiple LinkedIn accounts and automate them. That doesn't work. LinkedIn bans you almost immediately. The breakthrough isn't just using multiple accounts. It's using the right accounts with the right automations configured in a way that looks completely natural to LinkedIn's detection system. So we're not talking about fake accounts. We're not talking about bots clicking buttons and inhuman speeds. We're not talking about spammy behavior that gets flagged. We're talking about real accounts, aged accounts that have been properly set up, properly aged, and properly managed to look exactly like a human would if they were doing outreach manually. Now, the behavior patterns match real usage. So the timing varies naturally, the actions are spaced out realistically, The profiles look professional and legitimate. To LinkedIn, it looks like you hired a small sales team and they're doing some outreach, which is exactly what thousands of companies do every single day. Now, the difference is you're not paying salaries, you're not managing people, and you're not dealing with turnover. The infrastructure runs itself. Now, let me give you an example of what this looks like economically. In the traditional model, you hire an SDR for $4,000 per month. One of the tasks you give them is to do LinkedIn outreach through their personal account, but they're already in a losing position. That account is limited to 100 daily actions and 20 daily connection requests. They will have to then layer it with cold calling for it to even make sense. Not to mention you have to worry about training time, management overhead, and the risk of them quitting after a few months. With the infrastructure model, you build a system that runs multiple accounts simultaneously with automation. The monthly cost is less than one SDR's salary, and the output is about 5 to 10 times what one SDR is capable of. And that means 5 to 10 times the results, or even 20x if you have the budget for more accounts and a large enough TAM. So you're paying a fraction of the cost per call, and there's no training, no management overhead, and no turnover risk. The economics completely flip. This is why this approach changes everything. It's not about working harder or hiring more people. It's about building an outbound infrastructure that makes the unit economics actually work. Now, I know what you're thinking. This sounds complicated. I don't know how to build this infrastructure. And that's the point. You shouldn't have to. When you use Amazon, you're not building the warehouse. When you use Netflix, you're not managing the servers. You're using an infrastructure someone else built. And this is exactly what we do for clients. Now, we build the infrastructure, we manage accounts, we handle the automation, and we monitor performance, and we optimize based on data. So we handle everything completely done for you. You just have to show up to the calls that get booked into your calendar. You're not managing a sales team. You're not grinding LinkedIn. You're not figuring out automations. You're delegating the task to professionals so that you can focus on your business instead of where your next client is going to come from. So the setup takes about 2 weeks. Once it's running, you're consistently getting qualified calls. This is managed, fully optimized, and fully hands-off for you. And because we're building this infrastructure from scratch for each client, we can only take on a limited number of companies at one time. So we're opening this up to a small group right now. So if this is a system you'd like to run, you can book a call with me through the link in the description, and we'll talk soon.